I think one of the key framing points for the food book is that as we look over the 20 or 50-year time frame, will the food system in aggregate be able to meet our needs?
The current vaccines are not infection blocking.
Have you ever wondered exactly how and when this guy became the world's top expert in everything? The guy who gets to tell you what to eat, what medical solutions to put in your body, what to drive, how many children to have, basically what kind of life to live. When exactly did turtleneck Microsoft guy turn into the world's foremost pharmacist, virologist, epidemiologist, agronomist, climatologist? Where was the meeting held where it was decided that this billionaire computer nerd should somehow become the unelected philosopher king of planet Earth? Well, to answer this question, there's something that recently happened in Nigeria that you should probably know about. So the Nigerian National Assembly just concluded its open week, where it presented its annual scorecard to the media and the general public. This is the event where it gets to showcase the bills it has passed and engage anyone who's interested in topics relating to legislation in Nigeria. Fairly standard stuff. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So the Open Week program included something called the National Summit on Agriculture, Nutrition and Food Security, which is basically a stakeholder engagement session where a group of 9 people representing the interests of various agriculture stakeholders in Nigeria sat around the table and discussed how to change Nigeria's food and agriculture laws or write new ones in the interests of Nigerian citizens. Or at least that's what it was supposed to be. Because let's take a look at the 9 people who took part in this public discourse. First, there was a Kanem Isiche, who is a deputy director at the Gates Foundation. I guess you could say this is fair because Bill Gates has an extensive and well-documented financial interest in GMOs and agribusiness in Africa. So even if you don't want GMOs to be introduced to Nigeria, it would be fair to at least expect him to have a seat at the table where such things are being discussed. But then there was also Michael Ojo, who's the Nigeria country director of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, an NGO which is funded by the Gates Foundation. So that's 2 voices out of the 9 on the panel speaking directly for Bill Gates. But it didn't stop there. Sunday Okoronko, executive secretary of the NGO called Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria, or SUNN, also sat on this panel. SUNN is funded by the Gates Foundation, so that's 3 seats out of 9. There was Nimat Hajiboy, UNICEF's head of nutrition. And guess who is one of UNICEF's biggest donors? That's right, the Gates Foundation. 4 out of 9. Also sitting on this panel was Bello Lawal, national president of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGA. Now, Mr. Lawal is known to have a very close working relationship with the Boston-based NGO Management Sciences for Health, which, it may not surprise you to find out, is funded by the Gates Foundation. Also, Algon itself has collaborated with the Gates Foundation multiple times. So that's 5 voices out of 9 on the panel. Then there was Dr. Ahmed Abdul Wahab, who is a health advisor at the Nigerian Governors Forum. No way this guy is also a Gates Foundation baby. 6 out of 9. Finally, you have this lady, Uju Anwuka, a senior special assistant to the president on public health. So as a public official, surely there's no way she also lives inside Bill Gates' pocket, right? Except it turns out that she doubles as the focal person at an initiative called Nutrition 774 N774, which is funded by, you guessed it, the Gates Foundation. So that's 7 out of the 9 people on this panel pretending to carry out important public discourse and stakeholder consultation, while really just representing a billionaire's private commercial interest. The remaining 2 members of the panel, who are the only 2 members with actual legislative power, would have gone away from this panel session thinking that they have held consultations with all relevant stakeholders. Meanwhile, all they have done is listen to the same message repeated multiple times through different voices in the artificial echo chamber created for them by this American billionaire. This doesn't just happen in Nigeria. Wherever in the world you're watching this from, chances are this is exactly how important legislative and executive decisions are made in your country, over your head, without your consent, and without your input. With his vast financial war chest and an army of influencers of every type on his payroll, Bill Gates is actively astroturfing the internal policy conversation of countries around the world, including your own. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how he has gone from being Microsoft guy to becoming the world's most important doctor, scientific researcher, climate specialist, and agricultural expert. And he's not stopping anytime soon. You should be worried. You should be very worried.